The night sky above the barren planet was on fire. A silver rescue ship broke through the thick orange clouds, its engines glowing against the endless desert below. Captain Ryan Hale stood at the front window, eyes locked on the black smoke rising from a crash site ahead. The scanners kept beeping. Something was alive down there. "Signal confirmed," said Lieutenant Aria, her voice shaking. "But it's strange, sir. The readings aren't human, and not fully alien either." Ryan frowned. "Half and half? That's impossible." The rescue ship slowed down, dust spinning wildly around them as they landed near the burning wreckage. The place looked like the remains of a war: broken metal, scattered cargo, and the smell of melted fuel. The ship's hull still glowed red from heat. As Ryan and his team stepped out in armored suits, the wind screamed through the desert, carrying small sparks that floated like dying stars. "Keep your scanners up," Ryan ordered. Something survived this crash. They walked carefully toward the wreckage. Inside the twisted metal, faint lights flickered. The sound of something soft like breathing echoed from within. Arya lifted her scanner again. "Captain, I'm detecting a heartbeat." Ryan stopped. "How many?" "One," she said quietly. "Just one." The crew pushed aside a heavy piece of metal. Smoke poured out. And then they saw it, a small pod, half open, glowing with blue light. Inside lay a tiny creature wrapped in torn cloth. It looked almost human. Small hands, small face, but the skin shimmered faintly like moonlight. And its eyes, closed at first, slowly opened, glowing soft gold. Everyone froze. "Is that a child?" whispered one of the soldiers. Ryan knelt beside the pod, staring at the creature. The scanners went wild, showing impossible data. Human DNA mixed with alien sequences. Arya gasped. "This shouldn't exist. It's both human and alien at the same time." Ryan reached out slowly, his hand shaking. The child turned its head toward him. For a moment there was silence. Only the wind moving through the wreck. Then, in a quiet, broken voice, the creature spoke a single word. "Father." The sound cut through everyone's chest like lightning. Ryan froze. His mind went blank. "What did it just say?" one soldier whispered. The child looked directly into Ryan's eyes, its voice trembling but clear. "Father." Ryan stepped back in shock. "No, that's not possible." Arya looked at him, confused. "Captain, why would it say that?" "It doesn't even know you." Ryan didn't answer. Inside his mind, a strange flash appeared, a memory he couldn't explain. A laboratory. White lights. A cry, a promise. Then nothing. The baby began to cry softly, a glowing tear sliding down its cheek. The light around the pod flickered, fading fast. "Sir, it's dying," Arya said, panicking. "Get the med kit," Ryan ordered. He picked up the small creature gently, wrapping it in his jacket. The warmth from its body was unlike anything human. It pulsed with soft energy, almost alive, like a heartbeat inside his arms. "Let's move." "Back to the ship," Ryan shouted. The team rushed through the dust, carrying the glowing baby. As they reached their ship, thunder rolled across the sky. The scanner screens flickered again. Something else was out there. "Captain, new signal detected," said Arya. "Multiple ships. Closing in fast." Ryan turned to look at the horizon. Through the storm, dark shapes appeared, unmarked crafts flying low and silent. "They were waiting for us," he muttered. The crew hurried inside. The engines roared as the rescue ship lifted off the ground, leaving the crash site behind. Ryan looked down at the small child in his arms. Its eyes were open again, glowing brighter now, calm but knowing. He whispered, "Who are you?" The child blinked once and whispered, "Home." Ryan's blood turned cold. "Captain," Arya said from the control seat, her voice tense. "Those unknown ships are following us fast." Ryan looked out the window. 3 alien ships were closing in, glowing red against the night. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," he ordered. As the rescue ship blasted through the clouds, lightning cracked across the sky. The stars disappeared behind the storm. Inside the cockpit, alarms screamed. The alien ships fired. Energy blasts cut through the clouds, missing them by inches. Ryan held the baby close. Its small hand touched his chest, and suddenly the controls flickered. The baby was somehow connecting with the ship's system. The engines surged. The ship jumped to hyperspeed, faster than it ever should. The crew looked at Ryan in shock. What just happened? Ryan didn't know. He looked down again. The baby had fallen asleep in his arms, glowing softly. Outside, the stars stretched into light. Inside, the captain's mind filled with one haunting question. Why did it call me father? The ship floated quietly through the black ocean of space. The engines hummed softly and the storm of the alien planet faded far behind them. Inside the med bay, a dim blue light glowed over the small bed where the mysterious baby slept. Captain Ryan Hale sat beside it, eyes half open, mind full of questions. The child's skin shimmered like silver moonlight, veins glowing faintly under the skin. It breathed softly, too calm for something that had just survived a crash. Lieutenant Arya entered holding a data pad. "Sir, I ran every scan I could. The results don't make sense." Ryan looked up. "Try me. It's part human, part something else. The DNA code keeps changing, like it's rewriting itself every few seconds. I've never seen that before." Ryan frowned. "Could this be some kind of weapon?" Arya shook her head. "If it is, it's not built for war. Look at this, its cells heal instantly. If it gets a cut, it closes in seconds. That's not aggression, that's survival." The captain stared at the sleeping child. Its tiny fingers twitched as if dreaming. He felt that strange pull again, an emotion he couldn't explain. "A connection, father." The memory of that word echoed in his mind. He whispered almost to himself, "Why me?" Arya looked at him curiously. "Sir, when it first spoke, why do you think it called you that?" Ryan rubbed his temples. "I don't know. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it saw something in my face. Or maybe," he paused, "maybe it really knows me." Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The baby's eyes opened, golden and bright. It sat up slowly, looking around. "Easy there," Ryan said softly, standing up. "You're safe now." The baby tilted its head, then looked straight at him. "Home," it whispered again. Ryan froze. "What do you mean, home?" The baby pointed toward the stars, its eyes glowing brighter. Then the ship's console beeped rapidly, an energy spike. "Sir!" Arya shouted. "The ship's system is reacting to the baby's presence. It's connecting." Ryan rushed to the control room. The navigation screen flashed with strange symbols, unknown language moving on its own. The course changed automatically, pointing toward deep space. "Who changed our route?" Ryan demanded. "No one, sir." "It's not us," shouted the pilot. The baby's soft voice echoed from the speaker, though it wasn't speaking out loud. "They're coming." Everyone turned silent. "Who's coming?" Ryan asked aloud, looking at the baby through the glass window of the med bay. The baby blinked slowly. "Hunters." Before anyone could ask more, the radar alarm screamed. 3 red dots appeared, enemy ships closing fast. "Brace for impact," the pilot shouted. Ryan gritted his teeth. "How did they find us this fast?" Arya checked her monitor. "It's impossible, unless someone sent them our coordinates." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "A signal leak? From who?" Before she could answer, the ship shook violently. Energy blasts hit their shields, lighting up the cabin. The crew screamed as sparks flew. "Return fire!" Ryan shouted. The ship's guns fired back, lighting the dark void with flashes of blue light. Inside the med bay, the baby floated off the bed, its eyes glowing like twin suns. The gravity around it distorted and the metal walls began to hum. Ryan ran back in horror. "What's happening to it?" Arya followed. "Sir, its power output is rising fast." The baby looked frightened now, its voice trembling. "Father, they will take me." "Don't let them." Ryan stepped closer, ignoring the shaking floor. "No one's taking you. Do you understand? No one." The baby reached out its tiny hand. As Ryan touched it, a bright pulse spread through the room. The alarm stopped. The shaking ended. Outside the ship, the enemy craft suddenly lost control. Their engines failed, drifting powerless into the void. Ryan stared at the baby, stunned. The glow slowly faded and it fell asleep again, exhausted. Silence filled the ship. Arya whispered, "What did it just do?" Ryan shook his head slowly. "It saved us." He looked down at the small face resting peacefully. Something inside him changed in that moment. Fear turned to protectiveness. Doubt turned to purpose. He whispered, "Whatever this child is, it's alive, and it trusts me." Arya sighed, still shaken. "Command will want to know about this. They'll want to take it apart." Ryan looked up sharply. "No one touches this baby. Not the military, not the aliens. Not anyone." He turned back to the window, watching the stars drift by. Somewhere in the darkness, a soft red light blinked on. A tracking beacon. Someone on the ship had already sent a secret message. Ryan didn't see it yet, but soon he would, and when he did, everything would change. The rescue ship drifted through silent space. Outside the window, stars sparkled like cold fire, but inside the cabin everyone felt the same thing and fear. The baby slept quietly in a sealed glass pod, glowing faintly, unaware of the danger closing in. Captain Ryan Hale stood in the control room, staring at the radar. 3 red dots pulsed slowly on the edge of the screen, following them. "They haven't changed speed," said Lieutenant Arya, her voice low. "Whoever they are, they know exactly where we're going." Ryan crossed his arms. "We changed routes twice. They still found us." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what that meant. Someone on the ship had betrayed them. Ryan turned toward the crew. "Check every system, every signal transmitter. I want to know who sent our location." As the team moved quickly, the lights flickered again. Ryan felt the ship shake softly, not from damage, but something else. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through the walls. Arya looked up, confused. "Sir, that sound isn't from the engines." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "Then what is it?" Before she could answer, the baby's pod began to glow brighter. The hum grew stronger. The child's golden eyes opened slowly, and it whispered one word. "They're here." Ryan's blood ran cold. The radar beeped faster. The 3 ships had entered attack range. "Shields up," Ryan shouted. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers." Outside space came alive with motion. 3 black hunter ships appeared out of the darkness, sharp like blades covered in strange red symbols. They looked alive, as if their hulls were breathing. "Unknown design," said Arya. "Not human. Not any race we've seen before." The alien ships surrounded them like wolves circling prey. Then a transmission appeared on the screen, a voice low and metallic. "Return the child of the experiment, or face destruction." Everyone froze. Ryan stepped closer. "Who are you?" No answer came, only static and that same repeating phrase. "Return the child. Return the child." The baby looked at Ryan through the glass, scared but calm. "Father," it whispered again. "Don't let them take me." Ryan's heart twisted. He turned toward the crew. "Charge the weapons." "We're not giving up that child." "Sir, we're outnumbered," Arya warned. "They'll destroy us." "Then we go down fighting," Ryan said. The first shot hit them hard. The ship shook violently. Sparks flew from the ceiling. The crew scrambled as alarms screamed. "Shields at 60%. Someone shouted, "Fire back," Ryan yelled. Blue energy blasts fired from their cannons, hitting one of the hunter ships. The explosion lit up the void for a moment, but the enemy ship reformed, its metal body healing like flesh. Ryan's eyes widened. "They can regenerate. How do we kill something that heals itself?" Before anyone could answer, the baby began to cry. The lights around the pod pulsed with each sob. The air shimmered like heat waves rising from fire. Arya looked terrified. "Sir, its power levels are rising again." Ryan rushed to the pod. Hey! "It's okay. You're safe." The baby reached a hand toward him. The glass cracked under its touch, glowing lines spreading like lightning. Suddenly, the ship's systems went offline, dark and silent. "Sir, we've lost power," shouted Arya. Then the baby opened its eyes completely. Golden light filled the room. A beam of energy shot from its body, spreading through the hull, reaching into space. Outside, the hunter ships stopped moving. Their lights went dark. One by one, they froze in place, motionless, dead in the water. Ryan stared out the window in disbelief. "What did it just do?" Arya whispered. "It killed their systems, like it turned off their hearts." Slowly, power returned to their own ship. The baby's light faded and it fell asleep again. Ryan stood there, silent. He finally said, "This isn't just a child. It's something far greater." Arya nodded slowly. "Captain, Command will never let us keep it. They'll take it apart, study it, use it." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we don't tell them. We go off the grid." "Sir, that's treason," she said quietly. He looked down at the sleeping baby. "Then I guess I'm done following orders." But as they turned the ship toward a new course, a small light blinked under the console, a hidden transmitter still sending data. Miles away, on a distant planet, a group of human generals watched the signal appear on their screens. "Captain Ryan Hale," one of them said coldly. "He found it." The general leaned forward. "Prepare a retrieval team. The child of Project Genesis must be returned alive." Silence filled the ship. The stars drifted by, calm and endless, but inside everyone felt the storm. The crew hadn't spoken much since the battle. 3 hunter ships had died without a sound, and no one could explain how. Captain Ryan Hale sat alone in the observation room. The baby slept peacefully in the med pod, a faint glow pulsing from its chest like a heartbeat made of light. He whispered to himself, "Who are you?" The question echoed in his mind again and again. He couldn't shake the feeling that the baby wasn't just something he found. It was something connected to him. Lieutenant Arya entered quietly. "Sir," she said, handing him a small drive, "I found this in the Wreckage data logs. It's encrypted, but the system labels it as memory core." Ryan looked up sharply. "From the alien ship?" She nodded. "Yes, but here's the strange part. It's using human code structure. Someone from our side built this." Ryan's stomach twisted. "Plug it in." They loaded the data into the console. The screen flickered, filling with static and broken images. A lab. People in white suits. Bright lights. Glass tanks. And there, in the center of the room, stood Ryan himself. Arya gasped. "That's you." Ryan's eyes widened. "No, that's impossible." The hologram played back his voice, cold and tired. "Project Genesis, Phase 3. Human-alien hybrid successful. Subject code E01. Designed for survival and empathy. Host DNA, Ryan Hale." The words hit like a gunshot. Arya stepped back. "Sir, that baby was made from you." Ryan stared at the screen, frozen. The memory showed him placing a small infant inside a pod, whispering something. "You'll be safe. I'll find you one day. I promise." The video cut off. Ryan's breath trembled. "They erased it." "They erased my memory." Arya's voice softened. "Sir, maybe they made you forget after the project was shut down. You weren't supposed to remember." Ryan ran a hand through his hair, shaking his head. "I was part of this. I helped create life. And now Command wants to destroy it." Before Arya could answer, the ship's AI spoke suddenly, its tone sharp. "Captain Hale, incoming transmission from Command." Ryan clenched his fists. "Ignore it." "They're using override authority," the AI warned. "Signal cannot be blocked." The main screen lit up. General Corrin, face cold and serious, appeared. "Captain Hale, you are ordered to hand over the hybrid child immediately." Ryan glared at the image. "You mean my child?" The general's eyes narrowed. "That thing is not your child. It's an experiment, a weapon we can't control. You will surrender it or be marked as a traitor." Ryan took a slow breath. "If it's a weapon, then why did it save our lives? Why didn't it destroy us?" The general's expression hardened. "Because it's still learning. Don't make it learn to resist." The screen went dark. Arya turned to him, whispering, "Sir." "What now?" Ryan looked toward the pod. The baby's eyes were open, golden light shining again. "It's hearing us," he said softly. The child looked at him, and suddenly Ryan's mind filled with visions. A lab, a crying infant. His own voice saying, "Don't let them take you." He gasped and fell to his knees, clutching his head. Arya ran to help, but the baby raised a tiny hand and everything froze. The air shimmered. Ryan's memories unfolded like broken film. Scientists arguing. The general shouting, "Shut it down." Ryan grabbing the pod and escaping before alarms went off. A bright flash and then nothing. The connection ended. Ryan breathed hard, sweat on his face. He looked at the child, realizing the truth. "I didn't just create you," he whispered. "I saved you." The baby blinked, small voice trembling. "Father, bad men coming." Arya checked the radar. "Sir, she's right. New ships are approaching, human ones this time." Ryan stood up, resolve burning in his eyes. "Then we run again, but not like before." He turned to Arya. "Prepare the ship for stealth mode. Delete all traceable signals. From now on we don't exist." Arya nodded. "U.S. Captain." As the ship vanished into the black of deep space, Ryan glanced one last time at the glowing child. He whispered, "They made you to be a weapon, but I'll raise you to be more than that." Outside, far beyond the stars, another transmission blinked between human and alien frequencies. Subject E01 has awakened. Phase 2 initiated. Somewhere out there, someone was still watching, and they were not done yet. The stars outside were quiet, but the ship was not. It had been 3 days since the escape from Command's radar. The crew was tired, suspicious, and restless. Everyone knew someone had been sending signals, but no one dared to speak about it. Captain Ryan Hale hadn't slept much. Every night he sat near the glass pod where the alien child, E01, slept. The baby's golden glow was softer now, almost peaceful. It seemed innocent, fragile. Yet deep down Ryan knew something powerful slept behind those calm eyes. He whispered quietly, "They won't find you again. I promise." The baby opened its eyes slowly, as if understanding. "Promise," it repeated softly before drifting back to sleep. Ryan smiled faintly. But the calm didn't last long. "Captain," said Lieutenant Arya, stepping into the room, "we need to talk." Ryan turned. "What's wrong?" She hesitated. "I checked the system logs again. The data leak, it's still happening. Someone's sending microsignals every few hours through the maintenance line." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Someone on board?" Arya nodded grimly. "Yes, sir. And they're masking the source." Ryan stood up. "Get everyone to the control deck, now." Minutes later, the crew gathered, 6 people standing tense in the flickering light. Ryan looked at each of them carefully. "One of you," he said coldly, "is talking to command, and if that signal continues, they'll find us within hours. Whoever it is, and confess now, and I'll show mercy." Silence. Only the hum of the ship. Then one of the engineers, Corbin, stepped forward slightly. "Sir, maybe it's an automated system error." "These ships," Ryan cut him off. "It's not a glitch. It's deliberate." Arya turned to Corbin. "You're the only one with access to maintenance channels." Corbin's face stiffened. "You think I'd betray the crew?" Ryan walked closer. "I think someone already did." Before anyone could react, Arya's scanner beeped. "Signal spike detected," eyes from the engineering bay. Ryan drew his weapon. "Corbin, move aside." The crew rushed to the lower deck. The moment they entered, the lights went red. Alert mode. On the console, a message blinked. "Transfer complete." Corbin's hands were shaking. I didn't." Ryan grabbed him by the collar. "You sent our location." "I swear, Captain, I didn't." The system, it activated on its own. Suddenly, the ship trembled. The radar lit up with red blips. "Dozens of them," Arya gasped. "Human command ships, I'm incoming fast." Ryan pushed Corbin aside. "Get to your stations." The crew scrambled. The baby woke up, crying softly as the alarms blared. Its light flickered violently, reacting to the panic. Ryan ran to the med pod. "Shh, it's okay. Don't be scared." The baby looked at him, eyes wide. "Bad men," it said. "I know," Ryan whispered. "But I won't let them take you," Arya shouted from the cockpit. "They've locked onto us." 15 seconds to impact. Ryan made his choice. "Power up the warp drive." "But sir, do it." The engines roared to life. The ship surged forward just as a volley of missiles hit behind them, exploding in a wave of fire. The whole vessel shook, lights flickering, metal screaming. "Shields at 20%. Arya yelled, then silence. The ship vanished into hyperspace. The stars stretched into white lines as the ship escaped death once again. Ryan caught his breath, leaning against the console. "Report." Arya's hands trembled over the controls. "We lost navigation, sir. The warp jump was unstable. We're somewhere off-grid, no star maps match." Ryan looked around. The air felt heavier here. The stars outside were different, darker, colder. And then the ship's AI spoke, voice distorted. "Unauthorized code detected. Rebooting. System override initiated." Arya's eyes widened. "Captain." "That's command's override signature." Ryan turned sharply toward Corbin. "You said you didn't do this." Corbin backed away, terrified. "I swear, I didn't." A sudden flash, and Arya screamed. A hidden drone inside the wall activated, firing a plasma burst. It hit Corbin in the chest. He fell instantly. Ryan rushed to him, but it was too late. Arya whispered, shaking. "He wasn't the traitor. Someone else planted that code." Ryan looked up, realization dawning. "It's not from our ship. It's from the baby." He turned toward the med pod, and the baby was awake, staring at him with glowing eyes. "Father," it said softly. "They made me to find them." Ryan froze. "What do you mean?" "I can feel them," the baby whispered, voice echoing strangely. "They are coming. Because I called them." Ryan stepped back, his chest heavy with dread. "You didn't know what you were doing." The child looked sad, almost human. "I'm sorry." Ryan knelt beside the pod, voice trembling. "It's okay. You didn't mean to. We'll fix this together." But deep inside, he knew the truth. The betrayal wasn't from the crew. It was from the creation itself, a child that loved him, but was also programmed to destroy him. Outside, in the endless dark, faint lights appeared once more. Command ships and alien hunters, both closing in. The next war wasn't just for survival now. It was for the soul of the child. Space burned. The rescue ship hung between stars and silence, its hull cracked, its engines coughing light. Outside, two massive fleets approached, one human, one alien, both hunting the same thing, the child of Project Genesis. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the bridge, face pale under the flashing red lights. The radar showed dozens of enemy ships closing in from both sides. No way out. No place left to hide. "They found us," whispered Lieutenant Arya, her hands trembling over the console. Humans and aliens together. They formed a temporary alliance, Ryan's heart sank. To destroy their own creation? Arya nodded. Or capture it before the other side does. Behind them, the baby, E01, sat quietly in its pod, eyes glowing like two golden suns. It looked calm, but the light inside its chest pulsed faster, reacting to the tension in the air. Ryan knelt beside it. "You did nothing wrong," he said softly. "They made you, but they don't understand you. You're not a weapon. You're my child," the baby blinked slowly. "Father, why do they hate me?" Ryan's voice cracked. "Because they're afraid of what they don't understand." The comms crackled suddenly. A cold human voice filled the cabin. "Captain Ryan Hale, you are surrounded. Surrender the hybrid immediately or we will open fire." Then another voice, alien and distorted, overlapped. "Return the offspring. The cycle must end." Ryan looked at Arya. "They're not going to let us live." Arya's eyes watered. "Then we fight, sir." He smiled faintly. "That's why I keep you around." The alarms screamed louder. The ship trembled as the fleets locked their weapons. "Prepare for full defense," Ryan shouted. "Divert all power to shields. If they want this child, they'll have to fly through hell to take it." The crew moved fast. Engines roared. Turrets turned toward the stars. The hum of charging energy filled the air. The first wave of missiles came. The sky outside turned white with explosions. The ship shook like thunder. Sparks burst from the ceiling. "Shields at 50%. Arya cried, "Return fire!" Ryan yelled. Their cannons lit the darkness. Blue plasma bolts slicing through space, tearing into alien hulls. One enemy ship exploded, then another. "But there were too many, sir," shouted a soldier. "Human fleet is firing too." Ryan gritted his teeth. "They don't care who dies as long as they get the baby." Suddenly, the pod behind him cracked. The baby stood up slowly, its small body glowing brighter with every breath. The air shimmered around it, Arya gasped. "Captain, energy levels are off the charts." Ryan turned, fear and love in his eyes. "No, you'll burn yourself out." The baby looked at him, voice soft but clear. "I can stop them, Father. I can make them sleep." Ryan shook his head violently. "No, you don't need to prove anything. I'll protect you." The baby smiled faintly. "You already did." Before he could stop it, a blinding light burst from the child's chest. The glow spread through the ship, then into space, a wave of golden energy rolling outward like a storm. The alien and human ships froze mid-battle. Their weapons went silent. The engines dimmed. The entire battlefield turned still, ships floating like ghosts in the light. Arya covered her eyes. "What is it doing?" Ryan whispered. "It's rewriting reality." Outside, the stars themselves seemed to shimmer. The wave spread farther and farther, reaching every ship in range, disabling weapons, freezing engines, but not destroying. The baby wasn't killing them. It was stopping the war. Ryan stepped closer to the glowing child, tears in his eyes. "Please, stop. You'll die." The baby looked up at him, smiling weakly. "It's okay, Father. You gave me life. Now I give peace." The glow became blinding. The ship shook violently, alarms screaming one last time. Then, silence. When Ryan opened his eyes, everything was quiet. Outside the window, the fleets floated powerless. No explosions, no sound. Just calm. He turned. The pod was empty. Only golden dust shimmered in the air where the baby once stood. Arya whispered, voice breaking, "It's gone." Ryan stood there, motionless. His chest felt hollow but warm, like part of him still lingered in the air. He whispered, "No, it's not gone. It's free." The ship drifted through the soft light as the battlefield healed in silence. Then, from deep within the console, the ship's AI spoke softly. "Energy signature detected. Unknown origin. Ryan frowned. From where? Arya checked the screen. Everywhere, sir. It's spreading across the system. Ryan stared out the window, eyes glistening. The stars looked brighter now, almost alive. He whispered to the empty air. You did it, my child. You ended the war. But far behind them, beyond the quiet horizon, a new light flickered. Small, faint, but growing. A signal. Something or someone Renee was coming back. The stars were calm again. The battlefield that once burned with fire and fury now floated in silence. Human and alien ships drifting side by side, powerless, bathed in a soft golden light. Captain Ryan Hale stood by the main viewport, his reflection faint against the glass. His uniform was torn, his face tired, but his eyes were fixed on the stars. There was no sound from the engines. The air felt heavy, still, as if space itself was holding its breath. Behind him, Lieutenant Arya entered quietly. Sir, systems are stable again. Life support's back online. But, she hesitated. There's still no sign of the child. Ryan didn't turn. His voice was low. He's gone. Arya lowered her head. What it did? I've never seen anything like it. It stopped both fleets. It ended the war. Ryan's lips trembled slightly, and it gave its life to do it. He placed his hand on the cold glass. Outside, the debris glowed faintly, drifting through the golden mist left by the explosion. It looked almost like stardust, calm and beautiful. He whispered, You were born from both sides, human and alien. You were meant to destroy, but you chose peace. Arya turned toward him. Sir, command ships are waking up slowly. They're asking for communication. Tell them nothing, Ryan said softly. Not where we are, not what happened. She nodded, understanding. And after that? Ryan looked out again. After that, we go home. If home still exists, hours passed. The ship floated aimlessly through the quiet stars. The baby's light, once bright and alive, and had faded completely. But something lingered, invisible yet real. As Ryan walked through the corridors, the air seemed to hum faintly, a soft vibration in the walls. He paused near the medbay, the place where the child had always slept. The pod stood empty, its glass cracked but glowing faintly from within. He touched it gently. You're still here, aren't you? A faint voice, soft as wind, echoed in his mind. Father. Ryan froze. His heart pounded. He looked around, but no one was there. The voice continued. Don't be sad. I am part of everything now. He closed his eyes. You should have lived. You deserved more than this. The voice smiled in his head, and he could feel it. I did live. You gave me love. That was enough. And then the glow faded. The hum in the air went silent. Ryan stood alone in the dark medbay, tears running silently down his face. Days later, the ship reached the edge of a familiar solar system. Earth. Blue and calm against the endless black. Arya looked at the screen. We made it home. Ryan stared at the planet and his home, but also the place that once created the monster project that gave birth to his child. Open channel, he said. A voice crackled through the speakers. A command officer. Captain Hale, you're alive. Report your mission status. Ryan took a deep breath. Mission complete, he said slowly. The experiment is over. Where's the asset? Ryan closed his eyes. Gone. Static filled the line. Then the voice replied, colder this time. Understood. Return for debriefing. Ryan turned off the transmission. No, he whispered. Arya frowned. Sir? He looked at her with quiet conviction. We're not going back to them. Not after everything they've done. We'll find a new home. Somewhere far, somewhere peaceful. Arya smiled faintly. A new dawn? Ryan nodded. Yes, a new dawn. Weeks later, they landed on an uncharted green planet. Soft air, tall trees, rivers glowing faintly with golden dust. The same golden shimmer that once surrounded the baby. Ryan knelt on the ground, touching the glowing soil. You're here, he whispered. You've become the world. Plants pulsed softly under his hand like a heartbeat. The wind moved through the leaves, whispering faintly. Father, he smiled. For the first time in years, peace touched his heart. 1 year later, a small colony stood on the green world. Human survivors living quietly, rebuilding from what they once destroyed. Ryan often walked to the hill above the camp each evening, watching the twin suns rise together, a symbol of unity between two species. But that morning, something new happened. The ground trembled softly. A bright light flashed across the horizon. Ryan shielded his eyes and saw a small pod falling from the sky, trailing golden light. It landed in the nearby valley with a soft thud. Ryan ran, heart racing. As he reached the pod, it hissed open slowly. Inside, wrapped in silver cloth, was a tiny infant, human eyes, glowing softly gold. The baby looked up at him, blinked twice, and said in a small, trembling voice, "Father?" Ryan froze, his eyes filled with tears. He picked up the child gently, holding it close. He whispered, "Welcome home." The camera would pull back, showing the new world bathed in sunlight, a planet reborn from sacrifice. The stars above glowed golden, forming a faint shape, almost like a child smiling, and as the light faded, one final whisper echoed across the sky. "This is not the end. It's the beginning."